Today for the Bitcoin price, we will show you one specific price chart, one price model here, which not only measures the length, the duration of each and every cycle, it also measures the return on investment of each and every cycle. And this one is actually in perfect alignment with the more than 100 years price action history of the stock markets. We will bring all of that together and see what this specific model here predicts for the duration of the up and coming bull run, but even more important for the return on investment, the day and also the specific price Bitcoin is likely to top out in this bull run. Guys, you definitely do not want to miss out on that. So make sure you take a seat. Make sure you hit the like button right now. And that being said, welcome crypto friends and welcome back to MMCrypto. My name is Chris. And as always, we are extremely pumped to go straight into the content. And we are here on the monthly. And we want to give you, first of all, before we go further, a little bit of context. You all know this 4-year cycle, which we actually still think, yes, that's maybe true. But this model we are about to show you afterwards is actually pointing towards the fact that the cycles are getting longer. And it kind of says that this 4-year cycle might not actually be the truth. But what this model here actually points towards is that the cycles are not only getting longer, much longer, it also calculates exactly the up and coming all-time highs and the return on investments. So this one here is from Coinmetrics. Full credits to them. It's actually amazing what they were pointing out here. It's a very, very long article, and just in between they were mentioning that, and this is by far the most interesting thing of the whole article. So they should have dedicated much more space towards that, especially because it's in alignment to the stock market market cycle length. But we will come to that later. They are saying the 3 cycles previously identified show a pattern of lengthening where each cycle takes longer than the previous one to complete. This outcome is expected if cycles are driven by a new wave of adoption awareness from a certain group of users, each bigger than the last. And that's a very important point they are pointing out here, because, I mean, you have to ask yourself a question. If the cycles are actually getting longer, and we will show you why this one is pointing towards the fact, then why is that the case? You have the very, very early adopters, and the next group is always getting bigger up until you reach the very widespread mainstream adoption. And before we go further, we want to show you how this whole model here works. It measures the first cycle here in red, the second one in blue, the third one here in green, and the fourth one, actually the one we are in right now, in purple. It always starts here at the local low, and then it measures on this axis here the length of the cycle, and on the other axis the return on investment here measured in X's. So you can see that actually not only the return on investments get lower, the first one is much higher, it just misses out on the first days of price action, so it would be actually much higher. So not only the return on investments get lower, but also the duration of each and every cycle here on this axis gets longer. So that being said, let's go further. This one here says it also shows a pattern of less through to peak price appreciation in each subsequent cycle. The total price appreciation in the first cycle is understated, just as we said before, due to incomplete price history during the first year of Bitcoin's existence. So in this last paragraph here, they are saying under this lens, the local peak we experienced in the summer of this year, which was 2019, roughly 200 days since the cycle bottom, was abnormal as indexed prices exceeded where prices were in both the second and third cycle at similar stages during their recovery. So that already points towards the fact that the June high at 14,000 was actually very abnormal. Now, prices in this cycle have declined to a point where it is below the third cycle, consistent with the historic pattern. So right now we are back on track, this model here says. So let's zoom in a little bit, and then we will see that this one here, actually the purple cycle here in June, was actually going much higher than the green one and the blue one. And now we are back on track here. Even this one is a little bit older, it's 2 months old. Right now we are approximately here, so we are below. But what this one is pointing towards is actually, and here also credits to Benjamin Cohen, he was pointing that out in one of his videos. It's a very small channel, but this guy is actually legit. And he was not only measuring the return on investments, but also how much this cycles actually decline in their steepness. And you can see that this one was a 75 degrees, this one 50 degrees, 33, so it's actually slowing down by 33% each and every cycle, which would put our now cycle, well, let's give him a like, he deserves that, at 22% approximately, but also the duration to the all-time high will be also approximately 1,300 days. So let's check out what that would actually mean for the all-time high and also the duration. It would actually mean, if we take it here from the local low and we measure approximately 1,300, 1,400 days, that we will top out approximately by the end of 2021. I mean, that's fine, but it would mean that also this cycle is once again getting longer. So now we have the duration, but what does that mean for the all-time high, for the return on investment of this specific cycle? Well, what he is doing here, and he is doing something similar here to coin metrics, which is measuring the axis. He is doing that as well here on this logarithmic scale. And he actually measures that with a 22 degrees decline, we would, with this specific duration here, if the lengthening of the duration gets also the same, that we would get approximately to a 40x return from the local low in January approximately 2019. So if we were to take that here from the local low and measure approximately a 40x, then we would get to, wow, that looks already amazing, to approximately 4,000% here, which would put us at a price level of 125,000 US, but guys, not tomorrow, not next year, by approximately the end of 2022. But that would be already a very nice price target. So of course, this model also predicts that the Bitcoin price is consolidating much longer, but then in the end, we will have actually a very, very heavy price peak here, ending approximately at 127, 130,000 US dollars. And why is it actually saying that we are flattening out? Well, because we should actually be below this green line here, and right now we are just very close below. So we should also start to go parabolic after this one here is going parabolic. Why do we think that this is actually at least a realistic scenario? If you go to the stock markets, you can see, and this one is not taking the small little cycles here in between, for example, like from 2008 up until now, from the financial crisis. This one is measuring here the cycles from severe recessions, from economic crises. And you can see here, the first one in green was from July 1921, which was a very famous depression in America and also in Europe. This one was going up until 1948, which is 27 years. The next one is starting from the very famous 1948 recession and is lasting for approximately 34 years, up until 1982, which was also a very famous oil crisis recession post the Bretton Woods, actually. I mean, caption that, guys. It's getting much longer already than the first one. And the cycle we are in right now was starting from that oil crisis days, where you had a huge, massive recession and depression also in the US. And it's going up until now, and we still didn't see that very massive depression, which this chart here is actually also pointing towards. And this one is already going for approximately 38 years, which is already much longer than the 34 years we had here. So you can see also in the stock markets, the cycles, the severe cycles, are actually getting much longer and longer as the time passes. So this is in alignment with the narrative you have behind this specific model here, that the bull markets and bear markets of Bitcoin are also getting longer, since we are always acquiring a bigger group of people. So guys, let's put that together. This one not only points towards the fact that the next cycle is going from the low here, 1,400 days, to be much longer than the previous ones here. It's also pointing towards the fact that the return on investment in percentage terms is getting lower. Still, we would have a 40x. Also, guys, very important, what is that predicting, that specific price model predicting for the cycle thereafter and the cycle thereafter? Well, we could just easily take this one here, for example, and take another 33% decline and a higher duration. This one would put us approximately at a 10x, but a 10x from 125,000, which would be 1.25 million. And afterwards, the next one would be a 5x, but it's further out. It would take even 7-8 years to reach it, but that would be already a 5x of 1.25 million, which would be approximately at 6 million or so. And for everyone who thinks, wow, 5 million, 10 million, that sounds extremely unrealistic and this is not going to happen, there is actually a possibility for that to happen. And Carl from the Moon, he pointed out today that Hal Finney, the famous Hal Finney, where many people say maybe he is Satoshi Nakamoto, he was already in 2009, he started mining like a few days after the Genesis block. That's what he announced on Twitter. And he was actually already predicting a Bitcoin price of 10 million US dollar. Watch his video if you are interested in that. It's also in the description, in the pinned comment somewhere you will find it, or you just type it in the search box. Very, very important for everyone watching right now. If you don't only want to wait for like 10, 15, 20 years before we see these prices of maybe 5 to 10 million coming into fruition, if you want to take advantage here in the meantime, definitely you have to make sure that you are an experienced trader. Otherwise, you are just gambling away your Bitcoin. But if you are an experienced trader, you remember we have in our pinned comment a promotion going on right now here from Bybit, where you get a free $90 reward just by clicking that link, and within 24 seconds after you click that link, that specific link in the pinned comment, and you put in your email address and your password, you make your account, you get a deposit bonus actually after 0.2 Bitcoin deposit of $90 completely for free. And below you also find a 3 commas free test account. By clicking that link, you make an account and you get all access for 3 days completely for free. And if it expires, you have to actively renew it actually. Well guys, very important right now. There is a poll popping up on top of the screen right now. Do you think we will reach a price higher than 125,000 or lower than 125,000 in the end of the next cycle? Let us know in the poll, and also go down to the comment section down below and let us know your specific price target in the comments down below. Make sure you smash up the like button guys, and we will see each other very soon at the next one of MMCrypto. And as always guys, as always, bye bye.